Tere hommikust!
Tere, tere.
Welcome.
Hello. Dear participants, my great pleasure to be here. I should please say that I haven't been in front of a Latvian audience of a size like this, close or more than 1,000 people. And I just got the question in backstage, are you nervous? Obviously, I'm a little bit nervous, but I said that there are no difference anymore if you speak to the 500 or 1,000 people. In that sense, it's just you save the time to speak with more audience. And I'm happy that I received this invitation to the conference that have been dedicated to improve the processes, cooperation between of the state, public institutions and private institutions. Then it's to work with people and to work with everyone themselves, to improve the leadership, because the country and how good the country is only the matter how good we are in collectively together, because no one person can change the country, or how good the country is. We need to do it all together. I am Riho Unt. I'm actually Estonian who lives now in Sweden. I'm born in Valga. It's a neighboring town of Latvia. And when I'm in my childhood, my football beat actually was always in a Latvian side. I'm always very closely engaged with Latvia as well. Now, last 2 years, I've been responsible of all SEB businesses in the Baltics and being part of a management group in a worldwide in SEB. That have been very interesting time and very useful as well, because I should say I'm a little bit lucky of the timing, because this was the time when the Baltic states really, you feel the turnaround in the way that it have been a crisis time, it have been steady process, and now we see optimism is coming back in the Baltics, and the things is getting better. And if the things gets better, it's pretty important to think, how we can do and utilize and leverage onto those good things, what is probably ahead of us. My experience now comes because during these 2 last years, I've been visiting a lot of our Baltic companies. I guess I've seen and I met majority of owners and the management group of our largest companies, what we have into the Baltics. Mid-sized companies a lot, and the smallest, medium size as well. Alongside, I met a lot of municipality people. I met ministries, I met ministry people. And I would say in Lithuania, around 70 customers, Latvia 50 more plus customers, big customers. Estonia, I know because I've been 5 years as CEO in Estonia and SEB. And one interesting thing additionally is, I never thought I'd come back to Liepāja so soon. I was here just after midsummer when I met one of the largest construction company here and construction builder. Then it's international production unit, city municipality, and one big cement factory was not very far from here. And then I didn't thought that I will just some months later I will be here. And then I got the invitation and I got the challenge, what I'm going to talk about. I thought I will take a topic, the Latvia, and nothing stop the Latvia to be competitive. Because I see a lot of things where people feel that can the Latvia be better than the others, or like Estonia, Lithuania, or even very often we have compared with the Nordics, like Sweden, Norway, Finland. Can the Latvia catch the Finland or catch the Norway? Why not? If I look at the country's economies, then it's from a distance. I didn't understand it very well if I was in Estonia, but if you move out to Stockholm, you do get more understanding that, yes, the country, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania is a country but very often looked at as a region. And it's a simple thing to just make a comparison. If you take Sweden as a comparison here, then close to the beginning of the 90s, in the Baltics, there are 8 million inhabitants, and then Sweden has 8 million inhabitants. 17 years later, Baltic altogether has 6 million inhabitants. Sweden has 10 million inhabitants. If you combine our economies altogether in nominal terms, then we are in the size of a southern region of Sweden called the Skåne. It's a 20% of the Swedish economy. And I think the biggest challenge of this region is actually demographics, losing out the people. We need to get to really turn around the trend to be able to withhold the emigration and to start to grow again, because that's, if we would like to really build a long-lasting, sustainable economies here, then we need to get the population to grow. If you look at economies themselves, then Baltics comes very strongly through as very exporting-oriented countries. But the difference comes, where are you exporting to? Estonia exporting very strongly, as you can see, to Finland and Sweden. Lithuania is a Russia, but there are lots of re-export as a gas. Therefore, it's very more related to the neighboring, like Russia, Latvia, and Poland. And Latvia in exporting Lithuania, Estonia, and Russia. And that's what you get the most of I think it's the connections, of the business connections as well. But Germany is coming out strong. If IMF and World Bank made a questionnaire, and what stops to Latvia to be even greater, even better, then there were some things what comes out here. Is the strong side is the expectation of a macroeconomic development, what is true, good. There are very good primary education, what gives a very strong base to have a good workforce, have educated people. It's a good education level to really go forward with. The more tricky comes if it reaches to the higher education level. How much higher education, university and the businesses do together, how much research would do, how much the companies investing to improve their products and services, not to do subcontracting work maybe to some bigger company in the Nordics or the other parts, but how much you have your own research and development people. How many you reach out with your brands to the external market. And another thing is institutions. And not only there are lots of things you can hear that are the public institutions good enough, but there are always a question how well the private institutions are and how good is the cooperation between those two. And finding the ranking like 54 out of the 130 countries probably is not what Latvia and anybody would like to have. If comparison is Sweden is 7, Estonia is 29, and Lithuania is 41. I guess that there are room to catch up. If you get what stops us to be even better, then the first thing what comes across here is bureaucracy. And bureaucracy is very much what is our hand to change. Lithuania has not much different, it was 16. But in Estonia and Sweden, the bureaucracy does not come across as the top 5. Another is tax rates and the changes in the tax rate. I know that Latvia is going to change the tax environment as well to be more forward-leaning, but always the tax changes is in the business environment always a challenge. Even with a good cause, it makes a bit of a challenge. But one thing what you really don't want to see here, and nobody can be very proud of, is 8% have been marked as a corruption. In Lithuania, the number is 4. And if you take Estonia and Sweden, where the number is 2. And this, there are foreign investors very carefully looking at. If I meet a lot of Latvian entrepreneurs and state officials, or even my own bank people, I very often feel that it is easy to admit, yes, we are maybe third onto the competitive indexes in the Baltics, But what you would like to see, it's this type of a conferences where you feel that, okay, maybe we are not satisfied with the position where we are today, and we would like to improve it. We would like to be number one in the Baltics. Let's meet, let's discuss what brings us to that place. Another part is the fourth power in the society called as the media. The media should be present and should be strong to be the soul and acumen of the society. And currently it is a bit of a question, how much the Latvian people do trust the media? Because sometimes you need to have, there are cases where the processes takes long time and legally the people get off from the challenges. Then you need to have a media who is strong and taking the things to the spotlight. SEB contribution is, we have as well, we feel as we are part of the society because we see and we would like to be a long-term partner in Latvian society. And how we can contribute on the Baltics. One thing, our mission is to help the Baltic, to facilitate and help the Baltic states to reduce the distance between of the Nordics. And Nordics is almost the best the comparison to take with, because I think a lot of people are very strongly opinion that the Nordics is a good benchmark to take. And how we do, if we can get the activity and business activity up here, we can the innovation, entrepreneurship to develop. And we support the local entrepreneurs to grow. That's what we can benefit as our participation in the economy. Another part is clean and transparent banking. Because the very big difference for us is the euro is white or euro is gray. And that's what the bank should be very careful with, that the money what goes through the banking system is white. I'm sure you have heard a lot of troubles what have happened worldwide with the banks who have been a little bit weak with anti-money laundering or terrorist financing or know your customer topics. Especially last one, what do good as well in Danske challenges in Estonia. It doesn't have any good impact of Estonian banking, Estonian country. Because previously they thought to be very good, but now I think that you could get a question, is it good enough? And perception is pretty most often very important. Some things what I've noticed as well is, if I was a CEO in Estonia for 5 years, I met with public institutions and we found a very often common ground. And the common ground was how we make our citizen or life more convenient, more easy. How can bank improve? How the public institutions can improve? But the customers of ours both don't have to come to us, don't have to make a bureaucracy, can do the things more easy. Because we had a common understanding, let's make our customers and our citizens' life more convenient. And obviously in Estonia, we're like a little bit, I think, far developed desire to do everything into the digital way. And you could get fairly upset Estonian if he or she feels that he needs to visit some institutions physically. You cannot handle the process into the digital way. And this part, I could imagine that Latvia could have spent more time to develop the digital signature, because it's existing in Lithuania and existing in Estonia, and I see in Sweden it's very widely used. In Latvia, not so widely. In Sweden as well, it's a more wealthy country, and obviously it's a challenge how we, if I said the population is a challenge in this region, how you keep the people on the ground, how you keep the people, not everyone in Riga, but other like Liepāja as well, how we stay here. And that's you build the environment, what keeps them motivates to here. You work with companies to provide the workforce or working places. In Sweden, of course, you have more money for that reason. In that sense, in everywhere in Baltics, we need to be more careful what we invest our money. should this swimming pool in one very small municipality is actually the thing what you should invest to? Because it's easy to get the European money, but the main cost comes as you need to keep this swimming pool up and running. And for that reason, you probably cannot invest the money maybe to kindergarten or to other, like primary school or other things. In that sense, it is pretty difficult and important choices for municipalities to do where I spend my short-term money and long-term money. And in Sweden, you do feel that public accommodation is very, very strong. They are always out. If they see something is not right or there are fishy things, then your media is always present. And the people do take more like a responsibility. If the things went wrong, I do take the responsibility. And I leave a position. And it is as well a bit of a public pressure. Important is that we always think what we are proud of. Because the most of the time, the people and countries are known by strength, what they have. And there are obvious like natural strengths of Latvia, like the location. Because whatever angle I look with the story, the Latvia is the heart of Baltics. And let's use these opportunities. And another thing, if you can turn it to our favor, is a diversity. Because Latvian national population is more diverse compared to the Estonia and Lithuania. And these days, if you look at it as a weakness, you could see it as a weakness. But these days, very often, the people are looking for the diversities and the differences, how you can use a multicultural approach on your favor. However, you don't want to be just known onto your natural strength. You would like to be known as well, but our companies is successful in a worldwide. And there are lots of successful companies who have been able to withstand international competition or have done something first. Like a Latvian Ergo, they issued the first green bond in the Baltics, Now the Lithuanian Energy just did it some months ago, and the Estonian haven't done it. In some fields, the Latvian is the first one. Or you take Latvia's Fineras. They have been really good at being like working in my field into competition and expanding the production facilities in the Baltics and good into the competition. Or Britful, you don't need like super difficult business idea. You need a business inspiring and you need a good execution. They have like 2 factories in US and one we're going to build in Latvia. Because we're able to turn simple business ideas to the money. And that's what we should do. But it is, but tools that we have everything here as an entrepreneurship to make you onto the public space very strong. And that concludes. I see there are things what could be improved, because the perception is very often almost everything if you don't know. And that is my story of a perception. I was 12 years ago here in Liepāja. I drove it by. I came from Kaunas. I traveled to probably in Tallinn or wherever. And I missed the very beautiful city center. And for me, the city was remembered as there was a block houses and industrial zone. And then Ieva, our CEO in Latvia, said that this summer we're going to visit the Liepāja. I really didn't expect to see such a beautiful city center, very nice beach, the culture house where we are today, because I was locked into the perception of old times. For that reason, I say it is important to think and pay attention of a perception, what is outside. But we have everything here, and we are interested as well to make it good, and I can wish you only the success for Latvia to really compete and win. Thank you.